Welcome to your Monday Morning Pearl. I'm Steve Keck. Today, I want to talk to you about the power of your words. As sales leaders and as salespeople, we have a responsibility to our clients and to our employees to give the power of our words a little bit of credence. And here's what I mean by that. When you give a negative comment or a negative perception to someone, that travels 3 times farther than when you give a positive response or impression to someone. So what I want you to think about is how critical it is for you to be deliberate about the life-giving words that you use when you're relating to your employees or to your clients. We've all had an experience where somebody's words crushed us. And we've also had an experience where somebody's words just brought life to us and helped us take the right kind of action. And what I'd like you to think about this week is, how are you communicating with yourself? When you decide to motivate yourself, are you motivating yourself with negative feedback or positive feedback? Are you giving yourself life-giving speech that you can do this, you're gonna figure this out, maybe everything will work out? Or are you giving yourself negative feedback like, you'll never be as good as such and such, it's not gonna work, it's always gonna be a challenge, I'm always having to do something, blah, 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 blah. If you're speaking negatively to yourself, it will slip into the language you use with your clients and your employees, and you need to stop it. I want you this week to consider changing the language into life-giving speech. Speaking positively through every interaction with your client, prospect, or employee. I had a friend who had a legacy of worry in his life. And for 1 year, he literally wrote down every time he was worried about something. And you know what he found out? Out of the entire year and all the things he worried about, 3% of what he was worrying about came true. Everything else was not as bad as he was worried about. What does that tell you? He spent an entire year communicating with himself about what could possibly go wrong. Instead, he needed to reframe his conversation with himself about what could go right. And when he changed that conversation, he conquered his habit of worry. And that's what I want for you and your teams. I want you to consider creating an environment where life-giving speech is what flourishes with you and with your people. Your voice carries farther than you know. Remember the time when you were a young adolescent when somebody said one thing positive that you've always held on to. And then remember when somebody said something negative and you're still holding on to that. The chances are that person who spoke that negative thing has completely forgotten about it, but it is shaping your life because you continue to repeat it. Think of the positives. Bring life into your speech, and you will bring life into your relationships and into your sales. And as always, if you need to get some perspective by getting some coaching on what is possible for you, reach out to us. We love helping sales leaders and salespeople thrive. You can find us on our website or one of our social channels.